Officers on alert, so are all San Diegans.
We are advising all agencies to be on the lookout.
Today, Naval Base Point Loma was locked down for 3 hours. This after someone reported possibly seeing Dorner. Joe Kent believes he spotted the suspect last night.
Just the way he carried himself. Definitely was not looking left or right at all, just 100% focused.
It's unclear when Dorner arrived in San Diego County, but on Monday at 9:30 in the morning, investigators in National City found police equipment belonging to Dorner thrown inside a dumpster near the police department.
At that point, we retrieved the property. We impounded it.
On Tuesday, police say the former naval reservist used his badge to gain access to the base here in Point Loma, where he checked into the Navy Gateway Inns and Suites. Investigators aren't sure when Dorner left the hotel because he did not formally check out.
He was in the area. That's why we are so concerned that he may return to the area.
Late Wednesday night, a man armed with a handgun fitting Dorner's description held up an 81-year-old boat owner here at Southwestern Yacht Club. Investigators believe it could have been Dorner trying to steal the boat. The attempted theft failed when the boat's motor got caught on a rope. The victim was not injured.
We're really fortunate and pleased that the victim who was involved is safe, and he's not injured. He's in actually pretty good spirits.
So far, the only positive outcome to this tragic rampage. And of course, the big question tonight is, why did Dorner choose this location? Why Point Loma? And why did he dump his equipment in National City, which is about 20 minutes south of this location? Those, of course, are questions tonight that investigators are flushing through and trying to answer themselves. But of course, the one thing that is for certain is all officials here in San Diego County are on alert. So are officials on the border. That's the latest tonight from Point Loma. I'm Juliet Vara, and I'll send it back to you.
All right, Juliet Vara in San Diego for us tonight. Thank you. And SWAT teams swarmed a home owned by Christopher Dorner in Las Vegas this afternoon. Local and federal law enforcement, including the FBI, converged on the home, but found no one there. Officers would not say what they recovered from the property, which Dorner reportedly bought in 2007. Police say they have no information that Dorner was heading for Nevada, but are watching the home, and Nevada highway troopers are also on alert and watching for Dorner on roads leading to Las Vegas.
Christopher Dorner's training with the LAPD and the U.S. Navy, combined with his 6,000-word manifesto, shed light on his motivation.
And it provides chilling hints of how far he might go in a rampage of murder and revenge. KTLA's Carolyn Costello joins us now with a closer look inside the mind of a suspected killer. Carolyn?
Well, Cher, Micah, we all have been saying the manifesto is essentially a declaration of war on the LAPD. Dorner uses Navy acronyms in it, which indicates he, in his mind, is carrying out a military operation. Tonight, we spoke with a former FBI special agent who believes Dorner sees himself as a martyr, fighting for a cause he believes is righteous and worth dying for. And unfortunately, he is equipped with enough skills to take this pretty far.
Christopher Dorner's 6,000-word manifesto leaves Steve Moore with little doubt.
The babblings of a paranoid psychotic.
But Moore, a former FBI agent and threat assessment expert, is just as sure of Dorner's skill as a killer, his methodical planning, and his determination for revenge.
I suspect that you're going to find that he did surveillance for weeks, if not months, preparing for this.
How well planned out do you think this is?
I think this is horrendously well planned out.
The 33-year-old's experience in law enforcement and in the U.S. Navy has left Christopher Dorner with a range of skills he promises to use. In his manifesto, Dorner says he will use, quote, every bit of small arms training, demolition, ordnance, and survival training I've been given.
He knows how the police look for people. And so he has, over the course of the last few weeks, I will wager, removed any of the tracking mechanisms that law enforcement would usually use.
Dorner, who fellow naval officers say is trained in the element of surprise, has declared asymmetrical warfare on the LAPD, promising to fight like a jihadist, saying, quote, they embrace death as it is a way of life. I simply don't fear it.
They make an attack, they retreat. They make an attack, they retreat. They do not stick around. It's a hit-and-run tactic. They can kill us one at a time. They can cause us severe pain that's not tactically or strategically valuable except to break our will.
Moore believes Dorner fancies himself a hero, a savior, and a martyr.
He's designed this all the way down to the final scene, and he's going to need to be killed by policemen.
In his manifesto, Dorner writes about the movie Django.
Do you think he's fancying himself?
Oh, yeah. He's fancying himself as William Wallace from Braveheart. He's fancying himself as Django. He is the righter of wrong. He talks here repeatedly about how he's going to change LAPD for the good forever, and future generations are going to be grateful. I hope he's killed himself. I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think he's going to step away from his chance at immortality.
Investigators have discovered Dorner's torch truck in the mountains of Big Bear. To Steve Moore, that does not imply the end of Dorner's rampage is nearing, but indicates intricate planning and foreshadows more violence to come.
He truly is going for the long haul. He is trying to see how high a body count he can go.
So where does Moore think Dorner is now?
I think he's stalking his next target.
And perhaps more evidence Dorner sees himself as leaving behind a noble or honorable legacy. In the manifesto, he addresses elected officials, the Vice President, George H.W. Bush, General Petraeus. He has a message for Wayne LaPierre with the NRA. He gives advice to actors and movie directors. He tells Charlie Sheen he is awesome. So he believes, apparently, he's leaving behind some legacy. He's going down in history as some kind of a hero.
It is chilling.
A story with so many layers and such good reason for concern.
Yeah,
tonight.
Terrifying, fascinating.
Yeah, you bet. Carolyn, thanks. And we've learned that Dorner was briefly married to another law enforcement officer. Dorner married his wife in Las Vegas in April of 2007, but the union lasted only a few weeks. They filed for divorce in May of 2007. Dorner's ex-wife is a resident of Long Beach, and neighbors say Dorner often visited her home, but has not been seen in the area for a few months.
And a revelation by CNN's Anderson Cooper today that Christopher Dorner mailed a package to his office, and now we're getting a look at the contents inside. Dorner put a hand-labeled DVD with a yellow Post-it note that reads, "I never lied," referring to his firing from the LAPD. He also inscribed a message on a coin riddled with bullet holes wrapped in duct tape. It says, "Thanks, but no thanks, Will Bratton," a message to the former LAPD police chief.
All signs point to Christopher Dorner's vendetta against the police, stemming from his 2008 dismissal from the LAPD. And tonight we're learning more about the circumstances surrounding his firing. KTLA's Stephen Chase working that angle live from San Pedro tonight. Stephen.
Micah, as this manhunt for a cop killer continues, it's what happened inside of this hotel's lobby back on July 28th of 2007 that appears to have set Christopher Dorner off.
Let's go.
Christopher Gettler is the man police say caused a disturbance inside this hotel in 2007. We tried to interview him, but he was incoherent. His family says he's mentally ill. At the hotel that day, LAPD officers wrestled and tasered him to get him under control. Christopher Dorner was one of the responding officers. But according to court documents, 2 weeks later, Dorner reported to an LAPD sergeant that after the man gave up, an LAPD officer kicked the man in his face and shoulders anyway. We spoke with the mentally ill man's father on the phone. He says Dorner was telling the truth. He even testified at Dorner's hearing to help him get his job back. Dorner was fired by the department in 2008 for making false statements and lost his appeal in 2011. He was represented by former LAPD captain turned lawyer Randall Kwan. Kwan's daughter and her fiancé were shot and killed over the weekend. Dorner is the prime suspect.
Dorner is to be considered armed and extremely dangerous.
On the phone, Richard Gettler says he thinks Dorner was brave for speaking out against his training officer after his son's run-in with the law. But now he's urging Dorner to turn himself in. 3 murders and now a massive manhunt. In his manifesto, Christopher Jordan Dorner says his wish is to clear his name. In a news conference this afternoon, Chief Charlie Beck addressed whether or not that would happen.
It is not going to happen. And thank you very much.
Online court documents show that the LAPD questioned the timing of Dorner's reporting. Before telling his superior his side of what happened, Dorner received an evaluation from his field trainer. He was told his performance would have to improve in order for him to move up in the department. Reporting live from San Pedro, Stephen Chase, KTLA 5 News.
Stephen, thank you. Straight ahead here on the News at 10, an update on the story we're all talking about, the intense manhunt for a suspected cop killer.
We are live from Big Bear with the very latest developments.
This money market